Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our daily word on Monday. It's March 1st. Hard to believe we've moved to the month of March already. Sorry I'm late. I was on a phone call that I couldn't stop, so I had to be a few minutes late, so I'm sorry about that. Sunshine, it looks like outside, so glad you could join me for a few minutes together this morning. Thank you for your prayers for me the past several days. My surgery went well, and not feeling the greatest yet, but the surgery went well, and the doctor is convinced that he has helped me, not can, but has helped me. So hopefully a few more days I'll start feeling a little bit better. I've chosen for this morning Psalm 13, and Psalm 13 is this interesting psalm. Well, let's just read it and then we'll talk more about it. So Psalm 13. How long, O Lord, will you forget me? How long will you hide your face? How long, Lord, will this depression grip my soul at its embrace? How long will this dreadful sorrow pierce my heart all night and day? How long will my soul's attacker be exalted o'er my way? Look on me, Lord, come and answer. Lift my eyes, lest death approach. Lest my enemy claim victory and my foes gloat in reproach. But I trust your loving kindness, and my heart shall yet rejoice. For the Lord has been good to me. I will sing with heart and voice. So it's interesting, this psalmist, as he writes it, it's really this pleading with God about how long. And the question, how long, is repeated 4 times in this text. It's a question, about deliverance. It's a question about, there's some great anguish in the heart of the writer. And it's also probably true that there's some impatience mixed in, and we probably understand that pretty well. And, sometimes it's hard to not allow our impatience to then take away from our experience of knowing who God is and experiencing God's presence in our lives. So, this imploring by the psalmist, how long? We've probably done that. When winter lasts a long time, we say, how long? Here we are, we've turned to the month of March, and you all know, if you know me at all, that Diane and I have a place in Indian Lake, and we love to be there. I love to be there more than her, I confess. That's my go-to place. It's only a half an hour from home, but it is a place where I can find peace and quiet. And so last night, of course, we were talking about moving to the month of March, and I said to Diane, it was right before it was time to go to bed. I said, you know what I'm thinking about? She said, it has to be the camper. And I said, yes, it is. Aren't you thinking about the camper? She said, nope, not yet. I can't let myself do that. We sometimes get impatient, right? We think God's far off when really God's very close to us. We think that God hasn't heard our prayers when all along God has responded to us and hears our prayers. And the psalmist reminds us in the reading of this that life, as we live it, we have these questions about how long, but then we get to the end of it, and I guess it's here where we find the most hope in all of it. I trust your loving kindness, and my heart shall yet rejoice. For the Lord has been good to me. I will sing with heart and voice. And so we are hopefully in turning the calendar, the season of winter gets a little bit behind us. We look forward to the sunshine and the warmth of the days. And then there's in us, this idea that how long, that God hasn't forgotten us, that God doesn't hide God's face from us, but instead, God lifts our eyes, the psalmist says, and reminds us that we should trust in God's loving kindness and that our heart should rejoice. And so I was on the phone earlier today, even before this last phone call, and we were talking about it and how I was feeling and my lack of patience. And the person said, well, it's only been a couple of days since your surgery. And I know, and I'm trying to be careful and trying to be patient. But this idea of God responding to us as the psalmist understands that we continue to plead with God. And there's nothing wrong with that pleading. And I've been doing that for months, pleading with God for a miracle. I've been doing it since I came home from my surgery on Thursday, pleading with God. And it's okay that we do that, because you see, in the midst of this pleading with God, we don't give up, because the God that we pray to and plead to always sees, always hears, always cares, always responds, always loves, and always wins, even if it takes a while. Even if it takes a while, and sometimes it will take a while. It's not our persistence, though, that gets things done in the end. It's the unwavering, unfaltering, unfailing, unflinching love of God that gets it done. And that's important for us to remember. And so, I worked ahead. I worked ahead in worship, and this time, unlike other times, I've said I'm going to take my time and I'm going to heal, even if it means having to be home all these days by myself, which I don't really love. But it's not because I'm going to be persistent. It's because God always meets us where we are. And, sometimes we just need to remember that and be reminded of it in all of our lives. It's much like we're approaching a year. A year ago, we had celebrated Ash Wednesday, and we had so many great things planned for Lent. I had all these meals planned out for Wednesday in Lent, had all this exciting things that we were going to do, and it came crashing to an end. And I had to think about all of it in a different kind of way. And it's been a hard year. And I've said often, as you probably have, so how long, God? How much longer? How much longer? We're reminded that, in the distance, and this is what the writer of this says, in the distance, what we hear is music. And that music calls to us and beckons us, knowing that God continues to move in our lives. And so maybe, just maybe, for us, we just need to continue to be persistent and continue to know that we trust in a God who loves us right where we are. So I pray you know of God's presence in your life. I pray this is a good word for you today. Sorry for being late this morning. We'll try to be on time tomorrow morning. Reminder that Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, we'll have our Lent Wednesday nights. It's going to happen from here at my dining room table. But know of God's presence in your life. Continue to know that God meets us right where we are. And I pray that you'll know of peace and love today, and God's love in your life, and my love for all of you. And I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day.